It's happening. We're just one day away from the most anticipated and historic Final Four matchup of all time. Duke, North Carolina. Best rivalry in college basketball. Best rivalry in all of college sports. Two campuses separated by 8 miles. They've met 257 times before, but never in the NCAA tournament. And to have it happen in Coach K's final season in the Final Four? Wow, are you kidding me? You gotta love sports. This game is going to be excellent. North Carolina, of course, beat Duke and Cameron Indoor to ruin Coach K's final home game ever. Carolina beat two excellent teams in Baylor and UCLA before stomping out St. Peter's. But Duke is better. Duke is Duke. Banchero, Roach, Williams, all playing terrific ball. Banchero is shooting 53% from three this tournament. Roach is averaging 5 more points a game this NCAA tournament than the regular season. And Williams' defense and high percentage offense has frankly been off the charts. And Coach K is the greatest coach of all time. And no surprise, he has this group playing at such a super high level when it matters the most. The toughness down the stretch against Michigan State and Texas Tech, it has been terrific this tournament. And Duke, chew on this nugget of domination, has the highest field goal percentage of any team during March Madness. Coach K's genius has been on display, including how he has befuddled teams mixing in the 2-3 zone. As a sports fan, it's not cliche to say this is what you live for. I expect a great game. UNC will not be intimidated, obviously, but then the Blue Devils will distance themselves late. Duke wins by 7 to set up Coach K winning a national championship Monday nights in his final season. Loved hearing my guy Jay Wright with my guy Jim Nance today on CBS Sports Network. Villanova is a machine, and that's all Jay Wright's. That's his genius, that's Jay Wright's consistency, that's Jay Wright's coaching. And even without more, I like Villanova to beat Kansas in a phenomenal basketball game. Jay Wright's team, calm. They have a knack playing their best where it matters the most. Colin Gillespie is so tough, so clutch, and they've been historically great from the free throw line. They won without more against UConn earlier this year. And that was one of the 8 times in the regular season they beat a top 25 team. Look, Nova doesn't make mistakes. And as a result, opposing teams have to play their best to beat Villanova. Now, being fair, Bill Self's team did just that in a historic second half against Miami. In fact, I would make the case that was the best and most elite half of basketball by any team all tournament long. And credit Bill Self for that. But you cannot credit Bill Self for the flops and the failures as a higher seed historically in the NCAA tournament. Villanova has the coaching matchup. Kansas might have more upside, but I love Villanova's evenness. I love Villanova to beat Kansas in an epic ball game to make the championship. Giannis Antetokounmpo dominates and makes dad jokes. This is my kind of guy. Giannis and the Bucks can most certainly afford to yunk it up after last night, after coming back in epic fashion in one of the truly best games of the year in the NBA to beat the Brooklyn Nets in overtime. Honestly, and I'm always honest with the audience, middle of the fourth quarter, I thought this game was over. I was wrong because Giannis Antetokounmpo wouldn't let his team lose. This is why we've spent all week talking about the Bucks as a team to beat in the East. You realize Giannis Antetokounmpo just scored 40 in consecutive games against Philly and the Nets, becoming the first Bucks player with back-to-back 40-point games since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Giannis also passed Kareem for the most points in Bucks franchise history. Milwaukee's been on fire. They have championship DNA. Giannis has been amazing, as you see in March. They have a legit big three. And while the East is loaded, the other great teams have more variables and questions, starting with Brooklyn. And we might end up seeing the Nets and the Bucks in the first round if the Nets even make it. That was a bad loss for KD and company. They had it. How about Kevin Durant last night? And you know I love KD. Missed a couple of shots at the buzzer, end of overtime, end of regulation. It was stunning. This team doesn't have the chemistry because they haven't played together all year. Then you have KD trending post-game feuding on Twitter with fellow W8ER Hall of Famer, my guy Nick Wright. I mean, it's always something. It's never about basketball or winning with these Nets. And you know, again, how much I love KD. But last night was more proof that Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Bucks are not only the safest pick, but also the best. I've got to take so hots, I need oven mitts. Blame Brian Cashman for the Yankees World Series drought. Nobody else, including the Astros. And I know I always destroy the Houston Astros, cheating frauds, bagging Astros. I love the Yankees. I'm a Yankees apologist. Look, I can't believe Brian Cashman said what he said when the Yankees GM chatted with our good friend Andy McCullough over at the Old Athletic, blaming the Yankees World Series droughts on the illegal and horrific actions by the Astros. Tears of a clown. A loser's lament. Brian Cashman blaming the Astros is a disgrace. It's erroneous. It's wrong. And understand, what happened with the Houston Astros and their cheating scandal was, to me, the second worst scandal in the history of baseball after the Black Sox, okay? But for the Yankees and their general manager, the architect of the teams, to sit here and say that that's why the Yankees haven't won since 2009, come on. To say that prevented them from winning a World Series? Look, the 2017 Yankees were a little engine that could, and I'm putting that in air quotes, little engine that could, from a Yankee perspective. That was a fun team. They weren't supposed to do that much. Don't tell me, Cashman, that the Yankees were going to beat the Dodgers. If anything, and I've said this forever, the Dodgers fans should for always and forever, Clayton Kershaw, Dave Roberts, Yu Darvish, they should be livid at the cheating fraud. Houston Astros, not your team. The Yankees, if they beat the Astros in 2017, I remember saying this on Time to Shine before we knew the Astros were cheating, they wouldn't have had a chance against the LA Dodgers. And remember, the Yankees batters couldn't hit in Houston. Remember 2017, they couldn't hit water if they fell out of a boat. And by the way, you fired my guy, Joe Girardi. I will never forgive you for that. You fired Joe Girardi after what transpired against the Houston Astros. You blew up the team. I mean, you look at the Yankees, since 2017, they've won one division. One! So this is not about the Houston Astros. It's about you. You're the architect. And I always defend Cashman from the media elite who like to bang on him, but, I mean, come on. This is all on Cashman in terms of the issues. Yeah, look, credit him for what transpired at the trade deadline with Rizzo and Gallo last year. But how do you start a season without lefty bats at Yankee Stadium? I mean, credit him for signing Garrett Cole. Where was Trevor Story this offseason? Where was Freddie Freeman? If George Steinbrenner, rest his soul, was alive, I mean, come on. I mean, Aaron Boone gets a contract extension? I mean, George would have fired Aaron Boone 3 times during this rant. I mean, are you kidding me? How in the world can you have a sock puppet and Aaron Boone as your manager? I mean, this is because Brian Cashman not only picks the players, he also impacts the lineup. Remember in 2020 what happened when they were up 1-0 on the Tampa Rays and Boone and Cashman went with the opener in Game 2? And I told you on Time to Shine, that was a move that marred the Yankees' chances of going to the World Series. So that helped the drought. I mean, Cashman, you make me sick. And I destroy the Astros all the time. I don't want this to sound like some kind of heel turn. But the Astros didn't have to cheat. They have a lot of talent. It always makes me sad. Brian Cashman? I mean, week before opening day, which, by the way, Yankees can't make the World Series this year. The Blue Jays are better. The Red Sox are better. I think the Yankees are better on paper than the Rays, but the Rays have a better structure. I mean, the White Sox have a better chance of making the World Series. I mean, bag it, loser. Bag it. Brian Cashman. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit you there. Let's shine at some baseball on a Friday. Pretty significant move today. Huge trade. A couple of all-stars getting swapped for each other as the Dodgers acquired Craig Kimbrell from the Chicago White Sox for outfielder A.J. Pollock. Kimbrell is expected to take over the closer role for L.A. This, of course, after Kenley Jansen left for Atlanta this offseason. I mean, Jansen, Kimbrell, have you ever seen both these guys in the same place at the same time? I'm just saying, in terms of taking the old walk on the wild side and then finding a way to slam the door shut in the ninth inning, they are the same guy. Here's also a hot take. It doesn't even matter if Kimbrell is the closer, because this bullpen for LA, they are loaded with great arms. So if Kimbrell becomes a mop-up guy down the stretch of the season or in the dog days of summer, it doesn't even matter. This bullpen is loaded. I love this deal for the White Sox. I think that the White Sox are going to run away with the Central. I think they're the second best team behind Toronto in the American League. We could even see a scenario where A.J. Pollock is facing Craig Kimbrell in the World Series. That's part of the cool nature of this kind of transaction and trade. And I really think this was a win-win for both teams, and they could end up meeting in the World Series. How much fun is that? Garrett Cole was sharp today in his final spring training tune-up before opening day. 3 1/3 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, 64 pitches, 42 strikes. I'm telling you right now, Garrett Cole is going to have a monster season for the New York Yankees. My guy Shohei Ohtani's second spring outing was the old up and down. Ohtani had his usual nasty stuff with 4 strikeouts and 3 1/3 innings, but 3 walks, 3 runs. That's not great. This was a vintage, as we mentioned, up and down kind of start. My worry level when it comes to Shohei Ohtani on a scale of 1 to 10 is a negative 82. He's going to pitch for the Angels on opening day, and I'm getting that itch again. I'm ready to pick Ohtani and Trout to the playoffs one more time. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell for more videos.